All right. So step one is we're working with the existing downspout system. A lot of the time, folks call, they've already got their gutters installed. It's like 90% of the jobs we do. We do install gutters, right? But that's okay, right? Most of the time we install French drains. So step one is to take the downspout off. So the first thing I noticed, that we ran into as a bit of a logistics issue is the band on the downspout is really low. And so you can see that there's all different types of installs for how they put these straps in. So this was a ram set strap. So he went ahead and ram setted this strap into the wall, and that strap is what holds the gutter, right? So what I noticed, and I'm going to show you kind of some, gutter stuff. That French drain man leak filter is super duper big. And so we need it up nice and high to have some, space to be able to get that guy on to our downspout. And so what you're seeing here is I'm going to basically have to raise the strap that we took off to be able to make sure that that downspout is still holding with two straps, because we get hurricanes here in Florida. One strap is not enough to hold all this to the house. So we're going to go ahead and basically drill another hole. We're going to add another strap a little bit higher. So that way we get a nice hold on this downspout. We've got that downspout nice and into the system. We don't want it too far down in there. So it's probably going to be around here. We're probably going to have, about 18 inches, coming up above the ground. And, usually he likes to use a solid dual wall. I don't see any dual wall here for the system. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to run this 3.5-inch pipe straight into this connector. Because as you can see, this downspout has, a transition, because most of them come in 4-inch. So it has a transition to that 3.5-inch. 3.5 inches, this newest product, we were shipped a sample. This stuff is solid. I mean, this is literally some of the strongest pipe that I've ever seen as an installer. You can see my sandal. We always in sandals here in Florida. So, this is that 3.5-inch. We're going to get a lot of velocity out of this 3.5-inch. So we're going to pipe that towards the back of the yard. I am going to add a second strap. Wanted to show you an insight here from, the old installer. Come with me. So this is a mistake that I see often. So as a gutter installer, thank God I am prepared to make changes for, situations like this. So because they use a ram set to put the strap on, I'm going to have to make a new hole in the block to hang the new strap. And basically the strap's impossible to reuse in that case. So we use rock screws for our straps instead. So if anyone ever wanted to change the strap location in the future, it's a super easy swap out. When you use a ram set like that, or you use, these one-time, connections instead of screws, for gutter, you're basically having to sacrifice them every single time. So, I've never really understood why people don't use screws for gutter installation. So what we do is we're going to line this up with the downspout, and we're going to drill a hole for a new strap. And, that's how we're going to put our strap in now. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of, we had to make a pretty big hole in this because of the ram set. So we're going to recycle the strap, but I'm going to put some blocking on that strap with a little bit of aluminum to kind of pin it in. So that way we can reuse that, strap without having to move it. It'll still line up straight. We don't have to move the hole. Oops. It's actually easier to do this on the ground. And then we secure that strap in. Bang. So this new strap has been added. We moved it, and I'll show you. We've moved it up almost 22 inches on the wall to accommodate for the new FDM attachment. As you see, we're going to cover up the old ram set hole with the system itself. So that way we can strap to the downspout right here. So I just wanted to show you how we hook these things up. So this is the leaf filter whites, and we are connecting this in. We've already raised the strap, and we are going to go ahead and hook this up. We do not have the dual wall, so we're just going to run that 3.5 inch up, straight up, like so, like that. And we're going to basically drill this guy in, which we like to do just because of hurricanes with the wind and everything. We're going to go and drill all these pieces together, so that way they don't move at all. Get my downspout straight, and then I'll get my leaf filter straight after that. Bada bing, bada boom. And then I'm probably going to go, my pack's right over here, but I'm going to drill this pipe in as well. It looks like it has some pretty strong clips, but I like to drill it in, you know, just make sure everything's screwed in accordingly. And, yeah, so I'm going to show you over here. We're going to be fitting up the box. So we're going to dig the back section because we've only got a wheelbarrow and I didn't want to waste a bunch of fabric, piling up the dirt. So, you know, basically this is where our box is going to go. So we're going to go with the flow, right? So, you know, what's nice about these is they're designed pretty well. So you should be able to tell exactly in what direction the flow goes. I've usually seen the arrows. There we go. Right? So we see our arrow. That's going to be going with the direction of flow. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is cut our pipe to size, drop our box down in this hole. Now, let me get my saws on here. There you go. As you can see, that's right at grade. No riser needed. And then we will cut out this piece of turf and put that turf restrictor plate right here on top of the grass, just like that. So that'll be our clean out for any debris to settle coming off the downspout that isn't caught by the downspout clean out. Big stuff's caught there in the leaf filter for the leaves. This is more for, you know, I've been doing gutter cleaning for years, and I can't tell you how much dirt, mud, you know, debris that I find in gutters. Where it comes from, when that wind picks up, it can kick up a lot of the sand, and that sand can end up on the roof and it can run down into the gutters. So I've literally found sand, dirt, topsoil, you know, literal black, thick, organic soil in people's gutters where there are plants growing up out of it. So we're going to backfill this with the soil because, as you can see, we just had to chop through a lot of this. This is just like a combination of sand and then coquina rock. Like, look at this. Like, we're having to use a pickaxe to get through some of this stuff. So, you know, if that's you and you're not wanting to hammer through a layer of rock, you know, we'd be happy to do it for you, right? That's why we have these on board. We use this for clay. We use this for rock, like this. And it's a pretty effective tool. And so we're going to backfill this soil on top of this pipe and then keep following along. So for all you DIY heroes that don't want to dig through this is Merritt Island for you. That's a shell coquina mixed shelf of material. So we hit that at about inch and a half deep. So we're going to have to get the pickaxes out and get to work. Okay. So this is our catch basin with our turf restrictor. We went ahead and double taped, and I put a couple screws in here as well. This is our clean out basin. So I'm not going to tape this, and I'm not going to screw this. Usually, high volume rain events for our system. We have a grate that goes here. So, if folks don't want it to pop off, we'll drill it in. But this thing has the French drain man pop up right here. So when there's a high volume rain event, water will basically make this thing pop up. And the difference between this and a normal pop up, which is the NDS product that you find at most big box retail stores, is this will pop up and let water out, whereas there's a spring loaded system in those pop-ups that gets clogged. And they're also very small. Usually they're about this size. So the biggest thing that I see on a regular basis is customers go, yeah, I got a French drain. Let me show you where it is. And they walk me out to their yard. And then they come out here where we've got this thick St. Augustine grass here in Florida. And they'll go, it's somewhere around here. And I'll go, oh, okay. Well, where is it? And they'll go, it was right here the other day. And I'll go, okay, well, it's clearly not there anymore. So he has this fantastic turf restrictor plate. And as you can see, if you come with me over here, that keeps the grass, even the St. Augustine grass, off this flap that pops up. This was one that's already getting overgrown. It's summer here in Florida, so grass needs to get cut every week. So, this St. Augustine grass likes to grow. It's a weed. It likes to grow sideways. So you can literally see already, it's trying to come over, but there's just so much turf restrictor plate that it keeps it clean over the top where that water comes out so it doesn't get clogged. And then again, obviously the landscaper's probably going to want to edge this every once in a while because otherwise it's still going to get grown over. So that's what we're putting in right now. We're going to dig the rest of this trench.
And as you can see, it's still 100 degrees here in Florida. And this is what it looks like working outside in 100 degrees in Florida. We've got our hat on. We got our neck protector for these white boys. And we're out here doing that French drain man exit. So as you can see behind me, everything fitted up from the downspout all the way to here. We got it backfilled. So this is the exit. We went ahead and taped that. I had to put a riser on here, and I'm gonna drill all this together because I wanna make sure this stays on. And I'm gonna tape it and do all that good stuff. But I wanted to show you the riser. So this is the riser that brings it to grade. And that goes on there like that, like so, like that. And that brings it to grade, right? We're gonna cut the grass out of the way for that, and I'm gonna show you the finished product here in a moment. But again, I'm gonna face the pop-up that way, so that way buddy will pop up. You might wanna pop up. I'm thinking about it, he said. I'm thinking about, oh, you know what? Actually, we done swapped the lids. That's totally fine. So this is how easy it is to swap these things out. So that's the pop one. This is the clean out. So that's our clean out one. And there's the option for the grate, but it looks like the grate has been closed in. So that's our pop-up one that goes on the end. So, nobody's perfect. So as you can see, I swapped those out. So I'm gonna swap them back. So with our riser, now there we go. That looks a little bit better. So now when I pry that up, all that water gonna fly out from that downspout. It's gonna go under the fence, and these folks have a nice clean out back here. As you can see behind me, they already had a French drain man. It actually looked like she did the exact same thing because the flap she installed halfway down the line, or she had installed halfway down the line. So as you can see here, actually no, both of them are pop outs. So yeah, I guess it doesn't look like flaps. You might have used the flaps on the other side. There's some more downspouts over there. But that doesn't look like a pop-up. That looks like a plug-in. I'm gonna get this rock out of here too. Yeah, that looks like a plug-in. So that actually doesn't flop like that one does. So that's a grate, and that lets the water out through the grate. So guys, so as part of this French drain man installation here today, the client was asking us to dry well a little hole with a pile of rocks over here. So we're gonna use some of that excess fabric that we're not using over there.
And we're going to basically put that fabric down. We're going to fill this up with rock. Now, the concept of that is so the water that comes out of the channel drain on the pool deck, as you can see in the pool deck, they've got a 1.5 to 2-inch channel drain there. It's a little bigger than your standard channel drain, but it's still not really as big as what we like to install. We like to see a big 4-inch channel here in Florida for a Florida rain. And we're going to fill this up with rock. Now, this is not necessarily what I'd like to see, right? I would really like to see this tied into somewhere, going somewhere, preferably a sump pump, right? Because that sump pump's going to give us a big pit to kind of run everything into, and it's a great location to take everything. But again, this is better than just running it straight into the dirt, right? So she didn't want to spend the money that a sump pump system or running this system out would require, and that's totally fine, right? We don't want to mix this water with the channel drain water, right? A big mistake that I see a lot of folks do is they'll tie this into something that's tied into that, and that water's coming off the roof. This water's coming from ground level. So that's not necessarily the best option for you to do, right? Because we call this slow moving water and we call this fast moving water, right? So this will create a lot of back pressure. And what will happen is it will fill this area up. If you put a box drain right here and try and tie it into here, it will just come out here, right? And that's not what we want. So again, we're going to fill this up. We're going to get it nice, looking real cute, and keep following along. I think we got to do the other side as well. With the same thing. And then we've also got to Y in an additional downspout to a line over there. So, and I'm going to close that trench up and show you what the end product looks like over there. Okay. So, we Y'd this downspout in also. Had to do the same thing where we had to raise the strap because the strap was all the way down here. Add the French drain man clean out. This was already installed. So as you can see, this line runs. It's got the checkpoint. I had to jackhammer some concrete out of there. And runs out to the back of the fence. You can see the exit right there underneath the fence. So you just put these rocks down here with the other ones. And so we Y'd that downspout into the line. These Florida rains, you never know if that's gonna be a good option until you get one of those rains. So if you look up at the top, as you can see, this gutter runs the whole length of the house. That gutter runs the whole length of the back of the house. So we'll find out whether or not this can keep up with the volume of water. Once she gets her first big rain, hopefully it can. With 2 exits and 1 very close, I imagine she should be just fine. So again, if you're needing an installation of French Drain Man materials, we'd be more than happy to be your hands out here in 100-degree weather. As you can see me, I am absolutely soaking wet. I'm going to go, grab my towel and my change of clothes, and we're going to ride back to Volusia County. We got no problem riding out here and doing your installations. We'll go as far down as Vero Beach. Call us. We'll book you a free inspection and estimate. We'll ride out here, tell you exactly what the cost of something like this would be, and we'll get you taken care of. Thanks so much.
Water in your yard? We fix it fast. Call now for free estimates.